Hey guys, and welcome back to another guide. Today we're going to be taking down Obor, the Hill Titan. As usual, we'll be covering the requirements, how to get there, information and drops, getting the keys, and some kill examples. As for the requirements, you don't need much here. 50 magic and 40 prayer will do the job. You probably could do it with less, but unless you're wooks, there's not really a reason to try. So just get both of these as they're fairly easy to get. As for the equipment, your best mage gear will do. Alternatively, if you do have at least 50 attack, strength and defense with 43 prayer, you can just melee him with your best melee gear. Ranged is also an option, however I'd recommend having 60 range and 50 defense. The giant key is a mandatory requirement to fight him technically, so it is also a requirement. However, we'll cover this a little bit more in depth later in the video. A brass key will also make your trips a lot faster, so buy one from the GE, and if you're an Iron Man you should only do one trip without one, as you can pick one up on the way, and I'll show you exactly where later in the video. So how to get there? You have two options. Option 1 is shown on the screen. If you don't have access to the brass key, it's longer and you'll need to enter via Edgeville Dungeon just south of the bank. However, you can grab a brass key on the way by going to the highlighted area in yellow before continuing to the boss. Option 2, shown on screen now, is for when you have the brass key, and it's pretty simple, just run from the GE and you're basically there. If we take a look at Obor's stats, he is weak to magic, and if you're using melee, a stab weapon would be best, but there isn't much difference if you've only got a slash or a crush one available. And with ranged, it doesn't really matter, just whatever your best ranged item would be. It's also worth mentioning that he is susceptible to poison, so if your fights are taking a little bit too long, then bring something that can poison him. As for the drops, he does offer some fairly decent stuff for low levels and Iron Men, mainly alkaballs and plenty of rune drops, so if you are low on lore runes then this can be pretty useful for you. He does also have one big ticket item, which is the Hill Giant Club, which at the time of making this video is around 1.1 mil. And also that is the only collection log slot he offers, so unfortunately there is no mini Hill Giant pet, so Jagex, get that going. Obor is also cool in the way that he does drop some noted items, so you can get some diamonds, uncut rubies, limpet roots and big bones, along with some nice cash stacks. And in terms of guaranteed drops, you're looking at big bones, ensouled giant head, and also the beginner clue. The giant head's kind of good because it's free prayer XP if you're an Iron Man and you don't want to go in the wildy. You also have the chance of the following drops, however they are fairly rare, except from the giant key, so don't count on them in any way. Finally, he does have some combat achievements, which is one of the main reasons people will come here, and they're all fairly easy to get, so if you haven't done them you definitely should, because essentially they're just free points. Moving on to getting the giant keys. When it comes to getting the keys for free-to-play players, there's only really one good place to do it, which has lots of giants available, and that's before the entrance to Obor. However, if you're a member, there are two good options. Option 1 is shown circled in blue, and this is what I'd recommend the most, as you can use the cannon and obtain the ancient shard and pieces that make up the dark totem whilst you're hunting for the giant keys. Option 2, circled in red, gives more kills per hour due to the quantity of hill giants available, but no extra drops. They're just regular loot table and giant keys. This kill example is for anyone who's trying it with magic. Bring runes for your best hold spell, and at level 50 that's going to be snare. And use your best damaging spell. Before entering the area, just protect ranged, as he instantly hits you the moment you climb down. And the first thing you need to do is snare him as fast as possible and run away and start doing damage. If you want to give yourself the most amount of space possible, wait until he's in the corner of the room before you enter. You can do 3 magic hits and then re-snare him, however if you're low HP or just want to make sure that you definitely don't die, just do 2 hits and then get the next snare ready. As you can see, I took a nasty 22 kick in this fight, and that was 100% completely intentional and not because I'm bad at the game or anything. I just wanted to show you guys what it's like when you get kicked, and if you mess up you can always just snare him, run away and you'll be fine. This is the kill example if you're using melee. If you have decent stats then you don't even need to bring food, as the fight is usually over before it even begins. If you're baseline though, bringing a prayer pot and some lobsters will do just fine. Parry range, enter as soon as you enter and take the first hit, parry melee, then dump all your specs if you have any, and just clean him up real quick. Super easy boss with very free combat achievements, and if you're lucky, a 1 mil collection log. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've made it this far, consider dropping a like and a sub, as I'm still very low on likes and subs.